What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? It's Monday, November 12th, the beginning of a new week. We had I haven't fully broken down all your action this weekend, but I had a very nice weekend. Made a quick $500 late last night on 2 puck lines. Sharks -1.5 finally came through. God damn, it's been a long time. Also, Jets -1.5 seemed very low hanging. A nice weekend in football. Although some things were surprising, certainly the Packers taking care of the Dolphins so easily and the Chargers taking care of the Raiders so easily had to be considered low hanging fruit. But I would like to get the show started off by giving none other than Mr. Dan Kelly a shout out. On Friday when we were leaving, Dan Kelly said the Brooklyn Nets money line. Money line. And then before the show was over, he said, you know who's a live dog? Cleveland Browns money line. God, the 2 plus 300 scores in one weekend is absolutely spectacular. Shout out to Dan Kelly. I have a computer breakdown. So this is not my computer that I'm using. As you can see, there's no $5 bill. So I don't have the chat up. I'm going to have to figure out how to get the chat up and figure some shit out. But I will do that figuring out. Other than that, you are watching the first show of the week, Loshak in the Bag. So my name is Jimmy the Bag. I'm sitting beside, as always, Toshak Lodels.
How's it going, everyone? Yeah. This weekend was, it was. I could feel the snake bit coming. All the plays that I tweeted out. I tweeted out some stuff in NHL, which was okay. But then on Sunday, I felt I wanted to tweet out Winnipeg. But basically, what I'm trying to say is all the stuff that I wanted to tweet out but didn't. Cashed, and a few of the things that I tweeted out, like an NBA second half, didn't cash. So I could just feel that the snake bit stuff was coming up this weekend in me, and hoping to reverse everything this week. And having a little bit of a tough time, but hopefully things will get back in order very soon. Not tough time betting wise. Betting wise, things are going fine as always, Jim.
Yes.
I thank you. I thank everyone who watches the show and supports us in every way, every show, all the time. Really appreciate it. Means so much to me and Jimmy as well.
It does so much. I'm not going to be able to bring up the chat. So
I have the chat here. There's definitely some interesting stuff.
God damn it.
Yes. Everyone was talking about Cerrone by submission, and yes, day in and day out through high tide and low tide, my read on MMA is pretty good. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean that every pick I give is a lock, but my read on that on the Cerrone fight was dead on. Lewis by knockout and Cerrone by submission were the only two ways, or the most two likely ways that I thought that the fight would end. And Lewis was an absolute beast, but had holes in his game. And like I said, if he lost, his one vulnerability was getting subbed by Cerrone, and that did happen. Cerrone by sub in the show we talked about was plus 555, and I thought that had value, as well as Lewis by knockout having value, and I think both were still the case.
I'm gonna have to fuck off for a minute.
Well, what's that?
I gotta get the chat. How am I supposed to do the show with no chat?
I don't know.
You can take over.
Right,
you can lead this.
All right. Anyway, it is Monday morning. We are a little bit sluggish right now. Jimmy the Bag is trying to get his computer fixed so we can read the chat. My name is Peter Loshak. Jimmy the Bag, I think, also will not be here for the afternoon show, so it'll be just me. I'll do the absolute best that I possibly can. I am a little bit behind, so I didn't do any of my college football research or college basketball research, but I will try to crack down on that today and have some stuff to say about college basketball in the afternoon. Once again, just things that we are promoting on Wednesday evening. There's going to be a poker tournament with Youwager, where all of us, myself, Natalie, Jimmy the Bag, and Donnie Rightside, and other, everything good? And other, you're going to come back and sit while you don't have a computer? Okay, sure. Why not?
That's the sign of how important the chat is to the show. I can't even do the show if I'm not reading the
collapses.
Chat.
So I was talking about the Wednesday. What is that? The Wednesday poker tournament? What is that, Jim?
Yes, it is. It's a $1,000 free play plus $600 in bounties if you knock one of us out. That's 9:00 Eastern time. Set up. You need to have an account on Youwager to make it happen, but I'm very excited about it. I'm taking it very seriously. Pete will be here. We're actually going to do it here at the show. I'm going to bring in a bottle of JMO and get all twisted, man. That's my big plan.
All right, that sounds good. Chris Garza says, Pete, are you high? No, I'm never high. I don't do any drugs. I just am not feeling very good, Chris Garza. But that, no. Chinese guy says, Pete, on weed this morning. No, I'm not. I'm never. This has been the case with me since I was like, it's not necessarily that I am I'm upset that people think that I do drugs or I'm high all the time. It's just that I'm upset about the disconnect from reality. You know what I'm saying? It's not that I think there's wrong with being high or doing drugs. I just don't do them, and it's frustrating that people think I do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear that because I know that he doesn't. But let them.
Not that there's anything wrong with it. I just, no, I'm not high. I'm not on any drugs. I just don't feel very good.
If we have a minute before my screen's in front of me with my pages of notes for today's show, I would like to talk about a bit of gambling theory here. I was going over my plays that were so successful last year in NHL, and they were all what would be considered, if I wasn't on the puck line, square play.
Oh, in the NFL?
In the NHL.
Yeah. Oh,
in the NHL.
Okay.
They were all favorites last year at home, where I'd be getting -1.5 and between 150 plus 155 plus 185. So pretty strong favorites, which the equivalent would be about what, -160 to -185 favorites. And I hit an extremely high percentage of them. Players, gamblers who make those plays without being on the puck line are considered squares, right? Because they're big favorites. You're taking these big favorites all the time. I went right back to the well last night. The Jets and the Sharks at home, -1.5, and made just over $500 in 3 hours. And I'm like, this is exactly what I was doing last year. Why do you think it's not a square play just because there's a puck line added to it?
I'm sorry. Wait, just because there's a puck line added to it?
Yeah, because if I was taking -160 favorites, people would say you're a square. You're going to lose in the long run. Just because I add a -1.5, you turn from a square play to a sharp play, or a square play to a what?
And the people who are serious about labeling plays squares or sharp plays, know that whether you convert a pick to a puck line or you buy and sell points doesn't change the squareness of it.
Exactly.
Unless you're handicapping volatility. I talk about that all the time.
You do.
Right. Yeah.
You do. So then what we're saying is I'm hitting at an extremely high rate in the NHL on square plays.
Yeah, and of course last year, and I think going back a few years, the so-called sharp plays in NHL were not necessarily, in NFL were not necessarily doing that great. Exhibit A for that was the Cleveland Browns, right? Going back years. So anyway, and people are asking how much you got to deposit to get into that Youwager poker tourney. What is it? Is it you just have to have an account?
You just have to have an account.
Okay.
You don't have to deposit anything. You can go in with $0. But if you deposit $100, you're automatically included in the Youwager $10,000 Super Bowl contest with just $100. And that gives you tickets to the Super Bowl, flights, hotels, everything. But if you just put $0 in, you just need an account.
Okay, Jimmy the Bag. So hopefully there's some great comments coming in. I'm going to identify some comments, and then we'll get into the handicapping. Eric Nisbet says, I'm really liking Buffalo -3 against Southern Illinois in college basketball. Again, I will be covering college basketball. I'll hopefully do the whole card this afternoon in the afternoon show, but I did not have a chance to look at it on the overnight line. Dan Kelly saying first half Wizards, first half -4 or 4.5. So that's interesting. We'll talk about that game hopefully when Jimmy the Bag has his computer back. And let me see people talk about MMA. Let me see. I'm looking for other just handicapping comments. Corey Kelly says, Pete, I've been waiting for this day a long time. I need that birthday pick. It's just principle at this point. Yes, again, through high tide and low tide, one thing that has never wavered for me has been my read on MMA and also the success of the birthday picks. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt, but it's not the birthday picks that I get most excited about. It's your uplifting birthday speeches to Corey Kelly. I love them.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah.
Because I never know where they're going to go, Pete.
You never know where they're going to go.
They take quick lefts. They juke right when they're not expecting to juke right.
I love Jimmy the Bag. All right, so here you go. Reggie locked in UNC -17 last night. We will talk about that in a second. Hold on one second. And of course, we do have the NFL game tonight, which is a crazy game, Jimmy the Bag. Two teams that are just in disarray, right?
Not really.
No?
Not really to me. I know that when I simplify things too much, it doesn't always equate to victories. I see the Giants +3.5. I don't know if you can still get +3.5 because we knew that the New York money would come in around now and all day. But my God, I see the Giants +3.5 is a really nice play here. I just with the injuries going on with the 49ers, with Mullins coming off his breakthrough performance, I just can't see that happening again. I'm shocked. I know that we're talking about a 1-7 team with the Giants, but I'm just absolutely shocked that we could get this +3.5 against the Niners with their devastated injuries. Now we've seen the 49ers play well at home against bad teams, especially the Raiders, but I see this as a very nice spot for the Giants back. Very nice. Absolutely.
Okay. So, really, for the Giants, you like the Giants, right?
I made them official play. I bet it already. I love it. I just think that on a Monday night spotlight situation, if you look at the two teams, who's got game makers, I really think there's a huge advantage to the Giants, especially with the injuries. And we've been watching Foster struggle for the 49ers. Must be injuries. There's got to be reasons why he's struggling, but making it tough on Warner. The defensive secondary is being destroyed. The offensive line has all these injuries. And then Mullins coming off a storybook situation. I just don't see it happening again.
Yeah, I was leaning Giants as well. And Noli Knows says, Pete, take Bowling Green, Akron under as soon as it comes out. Line will drop immediately. I will look into that, Noli Knows. And here, Jim Rummy says, I'm going to tell you what's the problem, Jimmy, with your NHL picks. You are too emotional towards certain teams. Check the SRS differential between your teams, match up, or use a model. What do you think, Jim Rummy?
I'm exactly where I was a month into the season last year. Exactly where I was. I went back to the Sharks again, went -1.5. I know I'm going to end up this year at least plus 20 units. I'm hoping to go up 50 units. Yeah, I don't like the Canadians. Yeah, I'm surprised the Canucks are playing so well. Yeah, I believe in the Sharks team. Jim Rummy, if you see a problem, I make money every single year in NHL. So we all have some biases. I try to get rid of my biases. I'm honest about my biases. I don't lie to you guys about my biases.
So what are your biases again? You're biased against the Habs and who else?
I'm biased against my home team, Vancouver Canucks. I think that they're playing way over their head and they can't possibly keep it up. I'm biased when I believe in an NHL team and I think that they're going to continue. They're going to play well even if they're in a slump. I stick to them. And I was on the Sharks -1.5 last night when everybody was begging me not to. I'm going to stay on the Sharks and I'm going to get all that money back. I'm biased when I say that the Penguins are a good hockey team and everybody says they're terrible. Look at this. They look at this. Now I've not been betting them. Yeah, I stopped fading the Habs, but when I was up 3.5 units fading the Habs last week, and I'm going to get my Sharks money back. Yeah, Jim, I have certain biases that I'm totally honest about. And that is the biggest problem when you gamble on sports that you watch. Because I watch these games, and I've watched them all my life. But, yeah, you can say that I've got my problem in NHL is this, my problem in NHL is that. Well, my problem in NHL is that I get off to slow starts, but I beat NHL every single year, and I beat NHL publicly every single year, and I've been more publicly than I've ever been, and I'm going to beat NHL again. And when we go to my units, I'm having a bad start when I'm down 4.5 units in NHL.
Okay, so here we go. Now let me see. All right, so. Okay, so we have some other comments. Red Girl says, I was going to leave this game alone, but take Detroit under 154.5 cash. Trust me. Okay, I will look at that one in the afternoon show
Detroit
again.
Mercy.
Yes, Kyle Schaefer says, my favorite play in college football is Tulane +10 on Thursday night. He says this year. I don't know if he meant this to say this week or if he really means this year, but Kyle Schaefer really liking Tulane +10 on Thursday night. I will look into that one.
Well,
and a lot of
people have to just get back into it. I'll forget about the chat for today and just get my notes back.
Okay.
Right? What time is it?
It is 15 minutes after the hour.
Oh.
A lot of people
Look at him.
There you go. Lucrative.
Larry! Great stuff, Larry. Beautiful work.
A lot of people, or a few people, suggesting that the over might be a good play in NFL. That's interesting. We'll get into that. But for now, let's start off with handicapping. Once again, thanks for watching and thanks for supporting our show. And I'm going to do my best battling through my issues here. None of my issues have to do with betting, by the way. All right, so let's move on to NHL. We got 4 games in NHL tonight, and I definitely, had an okay read over the weekend. I knew that the Flyers were going to be a good bet against whomever they were playing. I can't remember, but I stupidly took Tampa Bay against Ottawa as a massive favorite. That was just a little bit irresponsible, and that caused me to be gun shy with my tweets, not my bets on Sunday. I took Winnipeg and I took the under in the Minnesota game. Should have tweeted both those out, and I would have had 2 extra units. Today we have 4 games on the card, and the first game that did you look at all 4 of these games, Jim?
I've looked at every game in their entirety in NHL and NBA.
The first team that I got to be thinking about is Anaheim, Nashville. Full game under, and maybe even better, first period under. Nashville is obviously rolling. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be thinking that Nashville on the puck line is a no-brainer play. I'm not so sure about that, but I'm definitely thinking about under and first period under in Anaheim, Nashville. What do you think, Jim?
Yeah, I don't. The Ducks generally play a low-scoring game. Obviously, they're 30th in goals per game at 2.28, 10th in goals allowed at 2.83. They have great goaltending. They play well defensively at home. They're going up against a team that's 8-0-0 on the road in the Predators. Pekka Rinne, 1.55 goals against, 79.49 save percentage. There is a lot of animosity between these two teams. Predators have won 2 playoff series in the past 3 seasons against the Ducks. Now, I don't actually see that animosity on the ice that much, except with Getzlaf. Getzlaf hates these guys, and But I don't necessarily, like, there's sometimes when teams play each other and you're like, Jesus, these guys absolutely hate each other. I don't know if I see it on the ice. The Ducks are playing bad hockey. They've lost 9 of 11. Jim Ford is saying Ducks suck here. Anna Merrick saying Kings and Ducks are on the fade train. I think that we might be simplifying it a bit with the Ducks. Predators have won 5 in a row, swept all 3 meetings against the Ducks last season. Kessler and Johansson do hate each other. They fought last year, and during the summer in August, Kessler tweeted at him. He said, meet me in the streets before we get going on the ice. And Johansson replied, I'll pay for your parking. These guys hate each other, but I don't know if I necessarily see it throughout the team. We have a very young team, young Ducks team with a lot of young Europeans on it, and they're not known for having huge rivalries early in their careers, although they develop them just like North Americans. Ducks are getting healthier. They now have full accompaniment of defensemen. They're still missing Carter Rowney, Corey Perry, who's going to be out 2019. Andre Case is expected to return from his concussion shortly. I guess the under is a nice play. The 5.5s concern me, and I don't think I want to make a move on.
So you think that because they hate each other, it might be a little bit more contested and it might be a little bit more scoring than you would normally.
No,
expect.
it's the opposite. I agree with you guys, and we've talked about that with the Penguins. I think that the heightened intensity leads to tighter check.
All right. Well, I'm going to take Nashville. I'll make this an official pick. Nashville, Anaheim. I will take the first period under, and I think I'm going to take the full game under and buy to 6 as well. I'm just going to think about that a little bit because Nashville definitely can score, right? They are no, not really.
Well, they can't score on the power play, so they're 30th on the power play, 22nd in penalty killing. Yeah, they're second in goals per game, but when you can't score on the power play, when you need that goal. And you have to count on it 5-on-5. It's strict. The Preds 13-3-0, best team in the NHL record-wise right now, and deserve to be it. Pekarine's playing great. This team's just playing great hockey. But when they can't score on the power play, it's hard to imagine. In fact, I've never seen this before. I've never seen a team second in the league in goals per game and 30th on the power play.
And Gibson's okay, right? How is he?
He's great. He's a great goalie.
All right, I'm going to take the full game under as well, but I'm going to. I don't even know if this counts as puss safe. This might count as puss smart. Puss smart. I'm going to buy up to 6 at Pinnacle and take about a -130 line there, Jim. Okay?
Sure. Yeah, I can understand
So
it.
I'm doubling up on unders. I'm taking the first period under. It's going to be 1.5 -107 at Pinnacle, and I'm going to double up and I'm going to take the full game under, and I am going to buy to 6 at Pinnacle. I'll take a bit of a bigger favorite line, but that's all right.
I would like to see our NHL records because
I didn't send the records in.
Yeah,
I just had a terrible weekend. Jimmy
No problem, buddy. No problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
All right, go ahead, Jim.
Why don't we talk about the Canucks Rangers?
And the line will be 6 -140, which is a little bit up there, but it definitely offers a lot of protection if it's 3-2, and then there's a go ahead, Jim.
Oh man, there's certain times when you shine.
Yes,
you rise to the occasion and shine. And this is one of them. Travis Eden says, "Guys, need your help today. Can you please help me wish my beautiful wife Dion a happy birthday?"
Okay.
And I know you can.
I have to do this,
yeah,
Jim.
you do. Yeah,
all
you
right.
do.
Okay. Who is it? Travis Eaton?
It's his wife, Dion.
Yeah. Travis Eaton's wife, Dion, happy birthday to you. Love is the most important thing in life. Family is so fucking important in life. You know what I'm saying? How important is family, Jim? If you don't have any family, people out there know how important family is. And Dion, you've got a great husband. It's hard work to keep a family together at times. At other times, you're just so thankful and you're just sitting there basking in the love. Bask in the love with your husband, Travis Eaton, for your whole life. Happy birthday. Congratulations on having a wonderful marriage and do the right things in your life. Be thankful for what you got. Happy birthday to you, Travis Eaton's wife. How was that?
Was
that
so
okay?
good, man. It didn't go into some horrifying turn.
No.
I was waiting for that horrifying left turn about the future, but we didn't talk about the future there. Man, I like it.
Okay, so I'm taking Nashville Anaheim under 6 -140 in the first period, under 1.5 -107. You want to play on this game, Jim?
No, I don't want to make a play yet. Keith Ruthnam asking if you are from Toronto. If he was from Toronto, it'd be more light shining in. But he's from the mean streets of NYC.
Oh, me? Yeah, I'm from NYC.
Canucks at Rangers,
okay,
Markstrom at Lundqvist.
Got to be thinking Rangers here, Jim, no?
Yeah, you got to be thinking Rangers, but I tell you what, who's making money fading the Canucks right now?
Yeah.
And you look at the injuries that the Canucks have. Also, I mean, we talk like Zuccarello's been out, but he expects to come back. I expect to see Zuccarello in the lineup tonight. You got a team without Brandon Sutter, Jay Beagle, Sven Berchi, Brock Besser, Edler. The Sabres were very fortunate to come back on the Canucks in that last game, and the Sabres are a pretty good team at home. Buchnevich, Kevin Pine says, is out as well. I am not going to sit here and fade the Canucks when they are first place in the Pacific Division and they feel it in that dressing room.
Mm-hmm.
Everything points to, yes, this is a great spot for the Rangers, but Kyle Schaefer says Rangers should roll tonight. It's different for me when I'm backing the Sharks saying, listen, they're too good for this. They're going to start paying out on these -1.5s. Or I'm saying the Penguins aren't as bad as they look. Who's making money fading the Canucks?
Mm-hmm. Capper John says Anaheim Ducks +1.5. Quack, quack, quack. Trust me, Peter Loshak. So if he likes it +1.5, that probably implies that he likes a lower scoring game, right?
Yes.
But Adam Marak likes the Preds -1.5, so they're going directly head to head. All right, Jimmy the Bag.
Yeah, I'm just not going to back I'm just going to stay away from Canucks games right now. That's the only thing that makes sense for me to do. They're playing way over their head. Yes, I would take the Rangers in a heartbeat, but it's just it's optional misery.
Kyle Schaefer says Rangers should roll tonight, but Buchnevich is out tonight. Be careful. How big is that?
I love Pavel Buchnevich. I got him with my last pick in the hockey pool this year. I believe in this kid. I believe in their young forwards.
Mm-hmm.
But are you going to get in the way of this Vancouver Canucks squad? I mean, it's look at this. Mark, look at these numbers. They're not good. 13th in goals per game, 23rd in goals allowed, 15th in power play, 19th in penalty killing, and they're beating very tough competition.
All right, you want to move on, Jim?
I do.
Let's move on to the Carolina-Chicago game because, the Carolina-Chicago game. Chicago is just a dumpster fire right now, Jim, right? Are they an auto-fade game in and game out?
They must be right now. I thought Carlton would come back and light a fire. What fire is he lit? Sayed and Kruger are both hurt. It's Dan Bowman that should be fired in this situation. Cam Ward's making his first appearance in Carolina.
Yeah, how does that factor in here?
That is the big question because I don't like Cam Ward. I don't think he's that good of a goalie. I'm going to jump on the Hurricanes here. I just, if you look at, we talked about the Corsi numbers and the analytics when I was fading, when in this very situation last week when the Blackhawks were at home and Collins' first game, and I was saying, oh, well, I have to not look at all the Corsi numbers and then back the Blackhawks. And the Hurricanes are out shooting everybody.
Right.
They've been outshot once all year. Eddie Oiler saying Ward back in Carolina. Gate pass Keys on the Canes puck line. Alonzo Shivers, Canes money line in game to go under. The one thing I can't say is that I can back the Canes here, even though Ward's coming back. Darling has not been that good. Will he get better as the season goes on? I'm not sure. But, Brindamore, these guys, Brindamore, Tocchet, these heart and soul players in their careers are trying to transfer that energy over to their teams. And they both have teams that aren't set up for that. They both have teams that are young and offensive and don't play like they played. And they're trying to instill that demeanor into them. And it's exciting to watch.
Does this ever happen to you where you're like you just take a day off from betting and you check it, go into your account and you're like, it's higher than you thought. You're like, what the hell did I bet yesterday that I forgot that I bet?
No, that never happens.
I had a big winning day on Sunday. I don't even know what the fuck I bet. Oh, I had Juventus. That was one of them. Sure. Shout out to everyone. That was a bet that I made that I tailed people on Juventus. I had the Titans. That's right. That was a good one. Damn.
We've got tons of basketball to get through. No problem. I just don't want to stick on this hockey
too long.
All right,
I'm taking Carolina -1 for sure. -175 on the money line, +165 on the puck line. Again, the money line is going to be at -175 at the Greek. Puck line +165 at the Greek, and that will be a definite no-brainer play for me. Seems like Chicago is just a dumpster fire. Carolina hasn't been winning, but they should start winning, shouldn't they?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
think
really
so.
don't know. They're getting a ton of shots on goal, but they just don't have that toughness that you hope. I mean, they have Jordan Stahl. Thank God they have Stahl, but they don't have a lot of. They have a lot of young snipers. I'm gonna grab the Hurricanes on the -1.5 here.
Okay, and that's going to be +165. So Jim's taking Carolina puck line +165. I'm taking Carolina -175 at +165 on the puck line, and we'll see how that turns out. And then Columbus at Dallas. Two teams that kind of have character issues, don't they? Columbus from the coach, Dallas from the players, right? What do you think,
I think
Jim?
that's a fair assessment, but I like the players on Columbus, and I don't like the players on Dallas. I mean, if Jim Rummy wants to talk about my biases, I have a bias towards Dallas, and it's made me a shitload of money the last year and a half. I don't like Jamie Benn at all. There's a reason why he was picked in the 5th round when he has a first-round talent. I hated what he said about the Sedins. I hated some of the tweets he's put out, where he sounds like, he's a frat boy, but he's actually the star of a hockey team, and people look up to him. So sometimes your biases pay off. I despise the Cowboys. I didn't fade them last night. I had the over, but I have, and that was again the market keeping me off a game because I thought I was on the ass end, which actually has been helping me not beating line movements, admitting I lost a line movement and staying off a game has been saving me money. So I hear what you're saying, Jim Rummy. I'm not saying that you're wrong, but everybody who gambles and watches sports have biases, and some are honest about them and some are not. Eddie Euler saying Radulov is back in the lineup tonight.
Yeah.
Will Radulov help after he's played once in the last 10 games? I expect him to take a couple games to get going. They're going to get Brett Ritchie back as well, but now they've lost John Klingberg, who's enormously important to them. Mark Mathot remains out of the lineup. Stephen Johns dealing with a concussion. Connor Carrick dealing with an ankle injury. Roman Polak has been sick. Those are all defensemen. So they brought up Joel Hanley and Ben Gleason from the AHL, and they're playing very well. They're impressing people with how they're playing. But with all those injuries, Eddie Euler says Radulov helps Stars a lot. He helps enormously, but is he going to help in the first game back after not playing 1 in 10? I don't know. When I look at this, I think, God damn, Dubinsky's back. The Jackets are healthy. The Jackets are the play. And I'm taking the Jackets here. Who is it? What's the money line right now on the Jackets?
On the Jackets, on the plus about. Oh, wait a minute. Let me. Oh, yeah, it's about even.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on the -1.5 on the Jackets here. I just feel like the Stars have a ton of injuries. They're going to be working Radulov back. I expect the Jackets to go on a roll now. They're 5-2-1 on the road. I expect them to roll.
All right, so we'll give you plus 237 at Bookmaker, but I'm also going to check Pinnacle and Bet365 to see if we can get you a better line there. Oh, actually, Bookmaker just changed because Columbus is now the underdog. So I'm going to give you the best line from Bookmaker, from Bet365 and Pinnacle, and we'll give you that one for Columbus. All right, so that's it for NHL. Let's move on to NBA once again. Jim's on Carolina puck line, Columbus puck line. I'm on Carolina -1, Nashville Anaheim first period under, and Nashville Anaheim under 6. And I'll make that Nashville Anaheim first period under 1.5, -107, the birthday pick. Carolina -1 is also a borderline birthday pick as well. But go ahead.
Shout out to Steven Esposito, says Jimmy the Bag. I killed football listening to the Audible. I'm surprised everyone talking about what a tough weekend in NFL it was, because I mean, it wasn't like a knock it out of the park weekend, but I mean, how easy were the Chargers and the Packers and the unders and the Redskins? Everyone's saying follow that Redskins under to the bank. I mean, it just felt like there were so many gifts towards us. I'm surprised, but shout out Steven Esposito. Great job. So glad to hear you nailing that shit.
All right, so once again,
Mark Lathrop is joining us.
Shout out to Mark Lathrop. Let's make Nashville Anaheim first period under 1.5, -107 as the official birthday pick, although Carolina -1 could easily be a borderline birthday pick, could easily be a birthday pick as well. All right, so let's move on to NBA. Jimmy the Bag, what would you like? Huge NBA card tonight. What would you like to tell us?
First, I'd like to back the Miami Heat. I feel like they've played so badly in the fourth quarter, and now they're playing a Sixers team that's not going to have Saric and Covington because of the big trade. And, you know, a lot of you guys and a lot of you Sixers fans in the Philadelphia area, you know the Sixers team better than I do. And I watched that Pacers game. We knew that Covington was dealing with injuries early in the year, but I was like, come on, God, Covington was the difference in that game. And now they're going to be without Saric and Covington. And this Heat being so disappointed. The Spolster said after their 2 fourth quarter breakdowns, we had some moments where I didn't even recognize our team. I just feel like Dragic, old dwarf arms here is just, he's playing so bad. He's come back from his knee injury. I almost don't want him on the floor. I almost prefer Ellington because I know that Ellington can defend Redick on the perimeter. I feel like Miami is the spot here, and I'm going to take them against this short-handed Sixer squad. Although I do get concerned sometimes that Embiid can lock it down. But when I look at this, what I expect to be the starting 5 that includes Shamet and Fultz, it's going to be 3 players that are 6'4". I think they're going to be in trouble here. I'm going to take the Heat on the spread.
Okay, the Miami Heat on the spread. Let me find the best line for you here. It's going to be 2.5 -103. Jimmy the Bag's going to take Miami -2.5 -103. That's the current line at Pinnacle. On that game, I had no real thoughts. I'm still, I make most of my NBA plays in the afternoon shows. Although yesterday on Friday, I was watching and waiting and thinking, and I had 2 solid team totals that actually wound up cashing, which I'm happy about.
I had another winning day in NBA, but it was the additions that we did on the late show that made it a winning day. My morning late, which is from my own breakdowns, were below average, was a losing day, and then working with everybody, working with the chat, being pushed into taking. It was those home dogs that we took up. I took 3 of those home dogs, or 2 actually, and Brooklyn plus 9.5, but went 3-0 on the afternoon show. Felt good.
All right, and then Orlando, Washington. Let's talk about that one because Dan Kelly started off the show. Shout out to you, Dan Kelly, suggesting Washington first half -4 or 4.5 might be worth a play against Orlando. Orlando, of course, is on a back-to-back. What do you think about this game, Jim? Anything?
Waffle Twat, though, says, I disagree. Bag teams going in different directions. Huge excitement in Philly. They roll tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the Heat are so much better than they've shown in those 2 fourth quarters. But you make a good point, Waffle Twat. And Shiver's liking the Sixers as well. A lot of guys liking the Sixers, and I can understand that. Brian Taylor does not, though, saying Sixers 1-6 on the road fade. But I can understand what you're saying, Waffle Twat. But will it happen with, Butler flying in late or flying right to Philadelphia? I'm not entirely sure. And do you think that I was reading some of Embiid's comments, and not all of them seemed positive, to be honest with you. So I think there might even be a little concern what's going to happen with Butler coming in because Butler is going to want control over everything. So we'll see. We'll see. Magic at Wizards. These teams met in Orlando on Friday night. Magic won 117-108. Wizards came out next night, beat the Heat. We know this Wizards team has talent. We just don't know what the hell's going on with them. Magic have now won 4 or 5, coming off a giant win over New York without Aaron Gordon and Jonathan Isaac, both their game time decisions tonight. When these 2 teams met in Orlando, they both shot better than 40% from 3. The Magic shot 42%. These are terrible shooting teams. Wizards are a healthy group. Mm-hmm. This game scares me. Mm-hmm. This game scares me. I mean, I feel like Magic with all those points, like Nelly Cover says, Orlando +8 against the Wizards, got to take it. Nelly covers Orlando +8, but I'm a little I find the Wizards are a tricky team to figure out right now, and I'm scared to make any move on it. Mm-hmm. Very scared.
Yeah, it definitely feels like if Dan Kelly likes the Wizards first half, then I think I'm going to tail that one, Jim. I don't mean to, I have a history of mushing Dan Kelly's plays, but I feel like on this one, it's going to be okay. And I'm going to take, Washington is such an unreliable team, though, aren't they?
They're a very tricky team to figure out right now. Extremely tricky to figure out when to back them, when to not back them. Why is it that they're playing so below the whole sum of their parts idea? I don't understand exactly why they're playing so poorly. Do they want their coach fired? Is there things going on we don't know? I tell you, though, when they did win that game and Bradley Beal said, well, I don't know what happened, I was like, oh, God, doesn't that put fear into you?
They're definitely a weird, very, very weird and unpredictable team. Not necessarily, though, the kind of team you want to take as a dog and fade as a favorite, though, as many unpredictable teams are. So I'm not exactly sure. I guess I'm going to hold off on this one. But Dan Kelly definitely liking first half -4. Does that make sense to you, Jim?
That does make sense. It does make sense that the Wizards will start stepping up, but I don't think I want to put my money on them. I don't want to trust them.
All right, I'll think about this. Let's pick another game, Jim. What do you want to discuss here?
Sure, let's just keep rolling down. Pelicans at Raptors. They are now atop the power rankings in the NBA. My God. I mean, maybe 1 year of Kawhi will be the greatest year of Raptors fans' lives. Mm-hmm. I hope so. Pelicans have won 2 straight at home, but Bulls and Suns, come on, they would stop their 6-game losing streak. Raptors swept the season series against Pelicans over the past 3 seasons, won 12 of the past 14 meetings with them. Alfred Payton still dealing with the ankle. Mirotic also dealing with the ankle. Both are questionable to go. Raptors are going off. Siakam's a beast, man. 23 points. The guy's just he's getting bigger, and God, he looks just dominant. Not dominant, but he looks like he could be on his way to being a very special defensive player. Pelicans have been happy with their defense. They've held opponents under 100 in each of their past 2 games. They're really weak opponents. They held Devin Booker, and now it's just Drew Holiday. J-Rue the Damager absolutely shutting down Booker, and very impressive. Holiday's a great, great basketball player. I really, really like him. Raptors are a healthy group. They're only missing Norman Powell. Raptors are so dangerous, so deep, so deadly.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah.
What a basketball team. But, you want to take them as big favorites here against the Pelicans?
How are they defensively, Jim?
Well, they're good.
Mm-hmm.
They're very good. They're 9th in points allowed. They're just a deep quality team. But they're not trying to really shut down teams right now. They're playing their bench. They're playing everybody. They're not trying to send messages to anybody, really.
And how are the Pelicans? Remember in the beginning of the season when they were just putting up a 3-pointer every 3 seconds and just hitting them and going explosively high scoring? What's your sense on New Orleans here?
That they're a troubled team without Alfred Payton. Eric Nisbet says Pelicans plus 9.5, a tad too many points. Ron Lofton says, I like Dan's first half play with the Pelicans. I must have missed that. Is Dan Kelly on
the Pelicans?
Yeah, first
really?
half Pelicans? I don't know. I must have missed that. I posted that in the chat a few minutes ago. New Orleans +6 at -122 first half.
+6 -122.
Wow. Unbelievable. You know, I find that if we can pick the spots when the Raptors are going to smoke their competition at home, we should back them. But I've not, and maybe again, like what Jeremy's saying, a bias. I feel like we all actually, I would say, have a better record when we fade our team because we know exactly when they should be faded rather than when we believe in our team because sometimes we sort of blindly back them. I'm concerned about Raptors, being such big favorites all the time moving forward, how to exactly make money off of them. I'm concerned. I don't know exactly how I'm going to handle the Raptors moving forward. Roy Bennett, if I buy down, Jimmy, will you think the Raptors will be good? The Raptors are an extremely quality basketball team. And I was watching Sportsbook this morning before our show started, and Teddy was saying that 4 of the top 5 teams in the league are in the Eastern Conference right now. And that's with the Sixers and Jimmy Butler. But that's a fair statement right now. And the Raptors seem like the best of all of them.
See, I was thinking about the Pelicans team total under.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess without Alfred Payton, I'd like that. But, I mean, look at the Raptors' last game against the Knicks. They rested everybody in the fourth quarter, so the Knicks still put up 112.
Yeah. Ryan Taylor says, I've watched the Wizards, not saying they won't cover, but smells like a dog and the over spot at Jimmy the Bag. So Ryan Taylor thinking that it's a dog and over spot for the Wizards game.
What is the total?
For what?
This game, the Raptors.
The Raptors game. It's about 230 or so. So I was thinking about, let me see if it's moved or not. Yeah, about 231.
And America says, stop the fucking presses. My wife just told me she got tickets to the Coyotes game. Best birthday gift ever.
Oh, shout out to you, Annie Marak. So wonderful. Family is so important. Family is so freaking important. All right, Jim. I was thinking about the New Orleans team total under, but you think that might be a little bit ill-advised.
I just get some concerns with this Raptors team, especially if they're in control of a situation and lighting it up offensively, just emptying the bench in the fourth quarter.
Right. And then unpredictability in the fourth quarter. How about the first half team total under? How about that?
Brooke Jordan asked if the arena still called Air Canada Center. No, it's Scotiabank Center now. Sorry, what was going on?
All right, I was thinking about the first half team total. Let's move on to another game. Sure. What else do you think is interesting on today's card, Jim? We got a lot to cover here.
Well, I find all these games interesting. We're actually doing a nice job breaking down these basketball games and allowing the chat to kind of help with our capping. Mavericks at Bulls. The Bulls have won 2 of 3 coming off 99-98 home victory over the Cavaliers. Haven't won 2 straight all year. Levine's going off. Doncic questionable with a right thigh bruise. 4 other Maverick players are averaging double figures. 1, Wesley Matthews, doubtful to play with a hamstring issue. If you take Doncic out of the lineup and with Matthews out of the lineup, God, it feels like the Bulls could be a spot here. I've had a difficult time figuring out this Maverick squad because I feel like their lineup is nice, but their record is trash. 0-6 away, 4-8 overall. Wendell Carter is being nice. I like him. 19-year-old kid, giving him good minutes. And now they're bringing Archie Diacono. Archie Diacono is also in control, whereas it felt like Cameron Payne was not in control, and maybe Cameron Payne gives you a slight bonus offensively. Archie Diacono I like what he's doing. He's taking blocks. He's become just a huge favorite of the coach, and I like what he's doing. He's distributing the ball nicely. Now Portis is out, Markkanen's out, so you're going to get a ton of Jabari. But it feels like the Bulls are the play here. I wanted to hear what everybody else had to say about this. Barcelona Mavericks 4-1 against spread in the last 5 meetings in Chicago. Not applicable like in the Bulls. Yeah, I think that the Dwayne Reed saying, give me the Bulls. What would I get on the Bulls right now?
And in the meantime, but the whole time while you were talking, I was thinking about the team total under for New Orleans. And Lamont Williams says, Pete, I love that New Orleans team total under. All right, so what would you get for the Bulls on the spread?
Yeah.
About 1.5. Whoa. What is this? Hold on one second. Sure. Did it move in the Mavericks' favor? Let me see. Whoa. Dallas is a favorite. Holy shit, that's a big move, an eye-popping move. Chicago was 1.5 on the opening line, and now they are a dog.
Wow.
That tells you something.
It certainly does. Squat Waffle says, nice spot for the Bulls. Reggie says, Mavs fan, I like Mavs, but I like Mavs first half better. I'm not going to make a move on this game. I would like to know exactly what's going on with the
line move there.
Well, and the Mavs injuries. So somebody must be in. Must be Luka. Luka must be in. I'm going to wait on that. Why don't we move on to another exciting game?
Why don't we talk about Brooklyn, Minnesota? We haven't talked about that, have we, Jim?
No.
Minnesota returns home from the trip, and now with no Butler, I don't know, but the Nets have been playing great, haven't they, Jim?
They're playing good basketball.
Yeah.
And if they win this game, it's their first road trip of 4 or more games where I have the stat somewhere where that they could come back. Say, a winning road trip of at least 4 games for the first time since 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, first off, the Nets are playing good basketball. Secondly, we saw this, 2 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
The Timberwolves were at home. Everybody was counting. It was against the Jazz. Everybody was counting them out. And we said, maybe we shouldn't count them out here because with Butler gone, maybe they show that they have strength and they have unity and they can change the dressing room around and they can do all these things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't want to fade the Timberwolves here. I think it's a dangerous place to fade them.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to take the Nets. This is a trade that now, Wiggins will go back to the 2. That's where he wants to be.
Mikey D says, I rarely ever play parlays, but I'm going to play an 11-team parlay tonight in hockey and basketball. All right. Good luck with that, Mikey D.
Get it, Mikey.
Go big or go home. I want to talk about the Utah game in a second, Jim. But what do we make?
I guess here, if Wiggins and Teague are both not in the lineup,
mm-hmm.
then I just don't understand how we can back the Wolves. And I won't back.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess just like the figuring out the Bulls Mavs game, I'm going to need to wait and see what's going on here. If Teague and Wiggins are both out, I'm going to fade the Wolves and take the Nets here.
Scotty Rock Forever has hit us up with plays. And Reggie, Mavs fan, I like the Mavs, but I like the Mavs first half better. God, I love it when people who are like fans of a team or follow a team, you know what I mean? Give us their opinions. So Reggie is a Mavs fan here, and he likes the Mavs, but he likes the Mavs first half better. Eddie Euler, Mavs by 4 on paper. Wow. And people are talking about how people are out for the Bulls, which is why that line is moved. Dwayne Reed, though, give me the Bulls. Barca man, Mavs are 4-1 ATS last 5 meetings in Chicago.
Ski Prophet letting us know, nice having Ski with us, says Teague and Wiggins probably will play. They are practicing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is a dangerous spot. Oh, and Red Girls leaning under in that game. What is the total in this spot?
In what?
In the Nets Wolves.
Nets Wolves. Let me find it. Nets Wolves. The total would go ahead, Jim.
I just feel like if those guys are playing, it's time for them to come together and believe in themselves.
So Red Girl likes the under. The total's getting bet up. 224 and a half.
Yeah, I have a nice record. I think I'm very close to double-digit units now this year, and plus double-digit units, and it's sticking with sides right now because I still feel uncomfortable with the totals. I just haven't been able to get in my rhythm. I feel, I feel much more confident taking unders than I do overs. I just can't seem to figure out when a team's going to explode.
Let's talk about this Utah-Memphis game, Jim. Someone says, here you go. Rehan Hyder, 1991, says, Utah, huge revenge game for Rubio. Rubio jokingly called them their biggest rivals because of 2 wins in Utah by Memphis. Well, I was thinking Utah as well. Is Memphis playing well now, Jim?
Very well. 5-0 at home. Conley's back. Did you guys see what Conley did last night?
Playing great.
Against the Sixers, 32 points in 42 minutes. 51 points, 12 boards, 9 assists, 4 steals in 2 victories over Utah. Conley he's back. He's back, and this Grizzlies team knows what it feels like to be the worst team in the league and now feel good about themselves. Mm-hmm. Jazz have won 2 in a row. Now they're going on a nice stretch of 10 and 12. Rubio dealing with back spasms, probable to play tonight. Dylan Brooks, Caspi out for the Grizzlies. We already know that JaMychal Green, Chandler Parsons are out. I'm not going to take the Jazz here on the road, although they're a good basketball team that's been underachieving. And they've been underachieving on the defensive end, 14th in points allowed at 109.9, going up against the number 1 team defensively in points allowed in the Grizzlies, who are 5-0 home. Man, Memphis is Kevin Rutham says Memphis is banged up. Not really to me. I mean, of these guys, I would like Dylan Brooks and JaMychal Green in the lineup, but this team's playing well. This team just knows so thoroughly what it's like to be god awful. Mm-hmm. And now they're winning, and they remembered winning, and they're playing good basketball. Barca man, Grizzlies 8-0 against the spread in their last 8 games. Not applicable. Memphis is a tough team at times. I like the Grizzlies. What is the spread right now? What if you were to take the Jazz?
Well, it's interesting that it's a home dog and it's 3.5 and getting bet up.
Yeah, I can understand people jumping on this Jazz train now.
Why would they be? Why would you understand that?
Just because they've been so underachieving. And they made a statement in their game against the Celtics. In that statement, it was a 123-115 game. I mean, we're seeing a different team this year than what we're used to. But they sent a statement to the Celtics, and we'll see if the Celtics respond when the Jazz go to Boston.
Is Rubio hurt?
Yeah, he's got a back injury, but they're expecting him to play. He's got back spasms. I guess he'll be dealing with back spasms all year long.
Mm-hmm.
Rian Hyder says Brooks is out, so is Caspi, already thin bench as it is. Donovan Mitchell will be in the lineup. Harry Haynes, Grizz best defensive team in the NBA, certainly playing like it.
Mm-hmm.
Sam's fix, they're turning it on. Ingles, finally starting to make shots. Ingles is a beast.
Mm-hmm.
God, he's so confident right now. Harry Haynes, like in Grizz +3. Squat Waffle leans to the over in the Memphis game. Conley pushes the tempo. What's been the movement in the total?
Gotten bet down.
To
about 202 or so.
Wow.
All right, I might pull this in the evening show, but I'm gonna take Utah first half, and I might take them full game as well. I think this might be a little bit of a better spot for Utah than other spots might be. Utah -1.5, first half -1.5, -110. That's the current line at Bookmaker. That might be a mistake, but I'm gonna add that one on right now, and I've definitely been thinking that way.
And Hal Abraham's making a good point, saying that was without Kyrie Irving. Yeah, I hear you, but he's still sending a message. I mean, this team without Kyrie Irving, we saw them roll all the way last year.
The Real TC says, hey, Pete and Jimmy, can we talk college basketball in the afternoon show? I got to go back to work. Yes, I'll be hosting it solo, and I will definitely dig into the college basketball card. Obviously, I will not have gotten the opening lines. I will be after the line moves, so we'll see what the lines are, but we will definitely be talking about college basketball in the afternoon. Sam Spick says, don't be scared of the line moving. Over is the play. I assume he's talking about the Memphis game. Yeah. Sean Roberts, can you guys repeat your NHL plays? You got a second? Yes, Jim's on Carolina puck line, Columbus puck line, and that's it. I'm on Carolina -1 and Nashville Anaheim first period under and full game under 6 spot to -140 at Pinnacle.
Lamont Williams, sorry, I can't reply. My computer's in the shop, so I can't reply. Not signed in to Google at the moment, so I can't reply. But I can speak it. Lamont Williams saying, Jimmy, what about the under in the Memphis game? I can't.
Sam's pick says, don't be scared of line movement. Over is the play.
Listen, I need to do what's working for me. And it's not that I don't see some of the angles as to why you would take a total right now, but I'm going over my numbers. I'm seeing what's working for me and its sides. I feel uncomfortable with the totals so far early in the year. And unfortunately, that may maybe take away from the content of our show, me not giving out a lot of totals, but I want to be a goddamn winner, and the only way for me to do that, I feel like right now, is just to focus on sides. And I've been looking at my numbers. My numbers are good. They're fucking good right now, and I'm not going to. It means so much to me. We all saw me just absolutely get destroyed in baseball, destroyed so much that I didn't want to come into work and I didn't want to keep doing the show. And now I understand how important it is to win, and I got to do whatever it takes.
Right. Yeah, kind of important. All right, Reggie says, Pete and Jimmy, I locked in North Carolina -17 last night. All right, let's move on to other, we got to get to NFL in a second, so let's move on to some other NBA games that you want to touch on here, Jimmy the Bag. Again, the one game I really wanted to discuss was Utah-Memphis, and obviously the Philly game and the Minnesota game are obviously very interesting. Any other game you want to lock in a play on, Jim? Or discuss?
No, yeah, I would like to discuss a couple more quickly. Suns-Thunder. How bad are this Suns team? Should we just take advantage of fading them right now? And how exactly should we do that? I find that it's trickier in NBA, but the teams that have been so bad in the NBA that we've found a lot of value, especially last year with the Atlanta Hawks, even this year with the Hawks. But are the Suns so bad? And as Koskakov screwed everything up by what he was talking about, Ayton's aggressiveness. He's calling out Ayton for not being aggressive. Ayton replies, I don't know what Koskakov is talking about. I mean, I don't know why Koskakov is doing that. We'll see if that lights a fire to Ayton. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. In the NBA, it's tricky. It's tricky calling these players out publicly. And it seems to actually work more in NHL, even though we're talking about biases and me hating Tortorella, the coach of the Jackets. He does that, and I don't like him doing that in hockey either. Thunder coming off a 111-96 loss to Dallas. Westbrook will miss his 4th consecutive game. Thunder are shooting 28.8% from 3, and Westbrook's not going to help that. Schroeder and Felton I like Schroeder quite a bit in this spot. I don't know how he's going to handle being on the floor with Westbrook at the same time. But the Thunder aren't a team I really feel like trusting right now. Not applicable, though, says Thunder coming on. Drew Daddy says not without Russ. Mikey D, like in Thunder, wondering if Thunder minus 8.5. The Suns over. So after Booker gets completely shut down, do we think Booker's still dealing with an injury to his hand? And after Booker getting completely shut down by Drew Holiday, do we think that Booker is going to go off here tonight? Those are questions that have to be answered that I don't know if I'm able or capable of answering them at this point. And then, so let's keep coming. I'd love to hear notes on what you guys think. And then Spurs at Kings. Spurs have beaten the Kings 14 straight times, but this is a different Sacramento Kings team. And then out of nowhere, the Spurs have been shutting down their opponents, which has surprised me because and it's got to be Pop figuring out how to work with some of these players, because I look at this team with DeRozan on and I'm like, God, who's making stops here? Rudy Gay's going to be back in the lineup after missing 3 games. Gasol did not travel. Podol is expected to be back in the lineup after the sprained ankle. Sacramento is scoring 115.3 points a game. De'Aaron Fox is a beast.
Mm-hmm.
A very interesting spot here where what would I get if I took the Kings right now at home?
Some interesting comments coming in. If you took the Kings, it was about 3 or 3.5. No, 3 or 2.5. Sorry.
3 or 2.5. I find that appealing, but I'd like to hear what you guys say. John Jones saying made a shit ton of money tailing you with the Chargers yesterday. Took first half and full game. Also got minus 5.5 live. Great job. I was fortunate to get that first half cover, but it seems like we can overanalyze certain spots in every sport.
Mm-hmm.
And if the Raiders are going to fall apart, it doesn't matter if Gruden has one trick play up his sleeve and they're playing at home. They're a bad football team doing what bad football teams do. I'm glad you made that catch, John Jones. It makes me very, very happy. Omar Hawkins says Spurs all day. Not applicable says like the Kings. Barcelona Kings Spurs over 6-1 in the last 7 meetings. I'd like to take the Kings here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do we do with a couple things? Is there going to be smoke in the arena? Are they? Because that was obviously there's some terrible things happening with smoke up in Northern California. I like the Kings here. I think the Kings can take care of business. Ron Lofton, Suns my team, but fading them first halves have been money. Maybe that's a simple way to pick the Suns.
Yeah, I mean fading them. That was one of the second half plays that I tweeted out that was a loser, just so stupid. And I wish I hadn't done that. But Red Girl loving the Spurs.
And Dan Kelly, first 4 games Spurs went over. Last 7 they've been under. What's the total on this?
On the Spurs game?
Yeah.
About 217, I think. 218.
Wow.
Farshad Hassami likes the Kings game under 220. Harry Haynes, Kings a solid play.
Wow. I'm going to need to take a little bit more time. And I definitely took notice of Friday's show and us after breaking these games down in the morning, thinking about them all afternoon, breaking them all down for so long in the afternoon show, and then hammering winner, really gave me confidence on how to handle this card, and that's what I'm going to do. So finally, we have Warriors at Clippers. This is an interesting spot. Avery Bradley continue to be day-to-day. Luke Amute, questionable with the knee injury. God, you'd love to have those guys even if Curry won't be in the lineup. Sean Livingston, Draymond Green, day-to-day as well. This is an interesting spot. What would I get at the Clippers right now on the spread?
The Clippers.
Yeah.
The Clippers would be about +3 or so.
+3. I find that appealing, and I think I'm going to be jumping on that at some point. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. Robbie Tagaloa liking Kings first half.
Hal Abrams liking the Kings game under as well.
Bleds W liking Kings first half too. Very interesting. Hal Abraham says Spurs Kings will keep it under.
Yeah.
Walter Trotter Golden State Warriors is the only bet I took already. And then Kevin Ruffin says Clippers all day. Dwayne Reed says Kings have no true closer. You're right. At this point, they don't. They don't. You're right, Dwayne. But that's something that can be developed. A lot
of people liking the under on that game. Anthony McRae, Sacramento under.
Interesting. I'm going to have to hammer these games in the afternoon. But I like where we stand.
All right, but you're not going to be in the afternoon show, though, are you?
I'm not sure. I have to take somebody to hospital very quickly. I'll do it as fast as possible. But that of course, is more important than this stuff. So
Yes. Okay. So that is it for NBA. I will definitely be here in the afternoon show, and we will go over college basketball. Hopefully, I'll have a little bit of time to look at some college football, and maybe we'll talk about some college football opening lines. We've definitely gotten some thoughts from Noli Knows about some totals that we want to hammer as soon as they come out. And now let's move on to the NFL game. Giants against San Francisco. When I handicapped this game, I was thinking Giants as well. Giants for sure. And in the early part of this show, some people were suggesting that the over at 45 might be a great play here. I know the San Francisco still have a ton of injuries defensively for starters.
they do, and all of my notes on this game and for the whole show, or the shows that we do on the Audible, are on that computer that is now in the shop. But it's very easy for me to go over some of the issues here. And I've heard a bunch of people liking the over, and it's funny because I had to get talked off taking the under. I was going to take the under in this game, and after breaking things down, God, I can't tell you how much that those shows are helping my numbers.
Of course.
And one thing that it did was it took me off of the Lions, the show, and both Donnie and I liked them on Tuesday, and then came Friday, and I was still lukewarm, but Donnie was like, I do not like them anymore. Whale Capper came in and said, do not like them. That saved me money. Also, at the time, there was no plus 3.5 available on Jacksonville. I could have only pushed or lost, and our breakdown of that game got me off of Jacksonville. It's just helping so much. When I'm looking here at the 49ers depth chart, Foster's hamstring injury he's been dealing with for a long time. It kills. It really hurts. But the offensive line is healthy. And I guess that we saw that from how they played in Oakland, that they were giving Mullins so much time. But to me, Hal Abraham says I'm a Giants fan, but I cannot bet them. They can't score 49ers or pass.
Well, it's just Eli Manning. That's the only problem, right? Is there any other problem with the Giants? What else?
Big Ragu and I are on the same page in this game, and you guys may remember Big Ragu's great video here on Friday, and he's joining us here in the chat. It says New York Giants plus 3.5 and money line doubling down. The game makers are on the New York side of the football. I know Eli Manning's been so bad all year long, but this is a secondary that's not going to get to him. This is a pass rush that's invisible. Absolutely invisible. Now, it's a mistake. It's a mistake to get too confident on the New York Giants. And especially with the 49ers at home, after, we've seen them look pretty good a couple times this year. But I don't mean to get carried away, but I'm confident in the Giants. And sure, we could show up here and it's a 33 win for the Niners, but I like the Giants in this spot a lot. Obviously, what Odell Beckham said, we're going to win. Our focus to win 7 straight, make the playoffs is ridiculous. But what else? What do you want him to say? The longer, at first I made fun of it, but the longer I sat with it, I was like, good for him. Good for him putting a little hope in this dressing room. They know their season's over, and here's a spotlight opportunity. I expect Beckham to go off. I expect Barkley to not quite go off, because if you talk about one thing, the Niners linebackers have been good this year. Yes, Eli is a mess. Rafael Ocampo says Mullins is a good young quarterback. We'll see. And, there's this funny feeling I get when someone has this incredible day. I think, let's see you next week.
Yeah,
and
sure.
it's a negativity that I wish I didn't have. But I just, that whole thing, there are no fairy tales in Shawshank. You show me that next week, Mullins. I'm a 49er fan. I'm a 49er guy, and I'm taking the Giants here.
All right, Drew Daddy says, this is the Giants Super Bowl. They will win tonight. Kevin Ruthnam says, I am confident in the over. Not Apple says it's going to be a field goal fest. All right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to combine the people's leans to the Giants and the over. I was leaning Giants as well when I handicapped the game. Not sure about the total, but I'm going to take the Giants team total over. Giants team total over 20.5 minus 102. New York Giants team total over 20.5 minus 102, and I'll put that on my official record here.
Kevin Ruthnam has his own algorithm going. Love hearing that. Says that over in the Giants game. Theodore McIntosh says Giants trading away starters, and you guys want to bet them? Hey, listen, look who they're playing, Theo. Now, Theo's sharp dude, man. I like it. Theo, tell me, are you all over the Niners here? Because, I don't want to mess with you. Brewski311 says, love the plus 3.5. Mullins play well against a bad Oakland team. Not saying the Giants are good, but better than Oakland. Oakland has no tape from Mullins. Giants off a bye with tape. Exactly. There, Brett. But no one has stated the case better than that right there. I like that. I like that very, very, very much.
Once again, earlier in the week, Jimmy the Bag did give last week, Jimmy the Bag did give the Giants as an official play, and he actually got 3.5 minus 110. So I have that here in my spreadsheet where we track the plays. Jimmy the Bag is already officially on the Giants 3.5 minus 110. That was from last week, and I have just decided to go on the Giants team total over 20.5 minus 102, current line at Pinnacle.
Q Peso says Eli won't have any time. I don't know, Q. I really don't feel like the 49ers pass rush is good at all. Diveman says 49ers almost beat Packers. The Packers have been a tricky team to figure out. They've been a very tricky team to figure out. Theodore Max touched on the first half under 20. Q Peso says Eli will retire tonight. Yais is also on the Giants plus 3.5. Oh, and he's on halftime full-time. I like it. Listen, if I was to break this game down is with a fine-tooth comb, I would like the Giants more and more and more and more. The longer we talked about this game, the more I like the Giants all week. This was a quarterback that no one had any NFL tape on. And you can look at a guy in college. It's still difficult to make. They should have been able to do a better job, but I blame Gruden. The guy's a clown. I just feel like the Giants can show up, and I expect them to here. There's a ton of holes in this 49ers team, and I think they can be exploited. I'm on the Giants. It's simple as that. And remember, if you do like the Giants, get them now. Whale Capper was talking about the market, how the market's changing now that there's legal sports betting in New York, and how New York teams are getting streamed and steamed. And you should. Are there still 3.5s available?
No, only 3s.
That makes sense, and that if you want the Giants, get him as soon as possible. And I said that on the show when I got him at 3.5. I was like, you're not going to be able to get this Monday.
Actually, in some of the lesser books, there are some 3.5s. Actually, yes, like SIA. We don't use SIA in our, but there are some 3.5. Skybook, yes. At the books that we don't use, there are some 3.5s available.
Big Ragu says, "Thank you, Raiders, for this gift." There's another real sharp thing to say about it. Yeah, thank you, Raiders, for this gift. If the Raiders didn't get absolutely smoked, this would be a pick 'em or a -1. I'm getting 3.5 points. I really like it. Greg Schneider agreeing. Jive Man's on the Barkley over. James agrees with Ragu. I think this is a Jason Bernard. A lot of guys are on the Niners. I get it. But I feel like this is a real nice spot. Oh, and Dan Kelly saying legal spending in Jersey, not New York. Sorry, Dan, of course. But I like this spot a lot for the Giants. I keep repeating myself.
Oh, yeah, and there is a 3.5 at Bet Online. That must have just moved because I didn't see. Well, anyway, yes, there are 3.5s available. Jimmy the Bag got 3.5 minus 110 earlier in the week, and I'm going to take the Giants team total over 20.5 minus 102, and that's it.
Adrian Connected saying, Jimmy or Pete, what would be your best play today to put $20 on? New York Giants.
You think so? Yeah. Even more than any of the NHL stuff? Wow. Okay. Mine would be the first period under in Nashville, Anaheim, or the full game under by to 6 at -140 Nashville, Anaheim.
I hear that.
But I'm also on the Giants team total over 20.5. All right, guys, that was the show today. Ups and downs as always. We will be back at 6 o'clock Eastern time. I will definitely be here going over all this. I will have a lot more thoughts on NBA with some late line moves and some late information that I will hopefully have. And then I will also talk college basketball, maybe, possibly college football. Can't guarantee that, though. And there's a slight chance Jimmy the Bag might be here. If not, I will do it solo. Thanks so much for everyone for all your thoughts, your comments, your handicapping comments are what make this show. I can't emphasize that enough. Thank you so much for all the handicapping comments that come in all throughout every show in the comments section. Helps us out so much, and we will see you at 6 o'clock Eastern time.